Unit 6 begins on page 204, talking about urology and gynecology. Look for a second at page 208, and let's just discuss the system real quick. So you'll see, looking at it, you have two kidneys, and then the little tubes that leave the kidneys are called ureters. They lead down to the bladder. So I'm just looking at the page on 208. So this would be the bladder, right? And these are the kidneys. You got two of them, and they're sometimes when we have a kidney inflammation or kidney pain, it almost feels like back pain, right? And then the urethra, right? And so that's just a kind of giving you an idea as we talk about these words where they are in location to the diagram. So looking at back at the beginning, page 204 tells you that U-R combining form. O is urine. N-E-P-H-R-O is going to be kidney. So these are some words you want to pay special attention to. And so is R-E-N combining form. It's also kidney. P-Y-E-L is renal pelvis. If you look back at 208, was that 208? Yeah. You'll see the renal pelvis is not labeled actually, but it's right out the kidneys, where the kidneys kind of come to an entrance or an exit. That's where the renal pelvis is, right before the ureters. The ureters is next, and you've got two ureters. The bladder is C-Y-S-T, so C-Y-S-T would be bladder. And urethra, U-R-E-T-H-R-O, is urethra. And so you'll see the urethra, when you looked back at 208, that was like kind of the exit that left the bladder. So we're about to just practice those words. Practice with those words. In 6.2, it gives you urologist. And then remember, L-O-G-Y is study of, I-S-T is specialist. So urologist would be a person who studies, a specialist who studies the urine, urologist, a physician specialist with expertise in treating disorders of the male and female urinary system. Urogenital in 6.3, it gives you urogenital, urinary tract and genitals. Uropathy, look at how that word is pronounced. It looks like uropathy, but it's pronounced uropathy, any disease of the urinary system. Okay, look with me. It tells you in 6.4 that poly means many. And then you know that urea, U-R-I-A, is a suffix meaning condition of the urine. So now, knowing that, we can put it all together and say P-O-L-Y-U-R-I-A. Polyuria. Polyuria would be excessive urine, and which is a side effect with diabetes. Look at the table in on page 206. It gives you different conditions, common conditions, I think, different conditions that involve urination. So polyuria would be excessive urine. Nocturia would be night. Noct, N-O-C-T, is nighttime. And so look over those words. Those are all things that deal with conditions of urination. Nocturia, and then you're going to practice them in 6.5. Polyuria, frequent urination. Hematuria would be at at the top of page 207, it gives you some hematuria, oliguria, O-L-I-G, I believe we've had that before, means low or few. Dysuria would be bad, painful, or faulty urination. So practicing with that. Okay, look at 6.6. We get to practice with, it says polyneuropathy means, so poly is many. Let me write this word. Poly, N-E-U-R, that's nerves, combining form O, because pathy is a consonant, P-A-T-H-Y. Polyneuropathy means diseases of many nerves, right? Diseases of many nerves. The word for inflammation of many nerves, this is in 6.6, the word for inflammation of many nerves would be polyneuritis. So you don't need the O because itis starts with I-T-I-S, would be inflammation of many nerves. Look at 6.7. It tells you inflammation of many joints would be polyarthritis. Pain would be polyneuralgia, because remember A-L-G-I-A is pain. And then the state of having too many or more than 2 ears, polyoptia. Polyoshia, so having too many ears is polyoshia. You see the renal pelvis at the bottom of page 207. So that's the kidney, that's the anterior and the posterior, the A and B, see they're flipped. A and B are just opposite facing of the kidney, and you can see the renal pelvis there. Look at frame 6.8, polycystic, polyphagia, and polyphobia. Those words having many cysts is polycystic. Eating too much, remember phagia is eating or swallowing, so eating or swallowing too much, and then phobia is fear of, having excessive fears. In 6.9 you get to practice with reno. It says that rene, R-E-N, is one word root for kidney. And then you get to practice. You've got renal, right? That would be pertaining to the kidney. Renopathy. Look how that word is spelled. The O and the P. Renopathy. So look how that word is pronounced. Renopathy. And then renogram. That was all in 6.10. Okay, flip with me now to 6.12 because we've already looked at that image. And so 6.12 gives you NEPHR, combining form O, is used in words that are talking about the kidney. And so then it just kind of gives you a review of that, what we've already mentioned. Nephro comes from Greek, and reno is Latin. So nephrons, that's a one functional unit of the kidney, are tiny structures in the renal cortex that filter blood to remove waste and excess water to form urine. And so nephro and reno is what we're going to practice with. Okay, 6.14 tells you that ptosis is a condition that means prolapse or displacement. So prolapse, it has fallen. So remember that, because we are going to prolapse every organ for the rest of the semester, or displace. Nephroptosis is how you pronounce that word. Nephroptosis means that it says nephroptosis can occur from a hard blow or jolt to the kidney. People who ride motorcycles often wear special clothing or a kidney belt to protect against this. And this is one of those times where the O and the P are kind of slurred together, so we would say optosis when 6.14 using P-T-O-S-I-S-I. It's almost always pronounced optosis. Look at 6.17. It says a stone. Remember lith, we learned that in the last unit, is lith. So nephrolith. Softening of kidney tissue would be nephromalacia. Look at a large kidney. In large kidney, at the top of page 210, would be nephromegaly, nephrolysis. Okay, it gives us another word part, P-Y-E-L, combining form O, refers to that renal pelvis, that part that kind of goes in or out of the kidney, that very first part. Pyelitis, examples, P-Y-E-L-I-T-I-S, would be inflammation of the renal pelvis. P-Y-E-L-O-plasty would be surgical repair of the renal pelvis. Okay, it gives you pyelonephrosis. Remember, O-S-I-S is condition. This is at the top of 211. So P-Y-E-L, renal pelvis, O, combining form, N-E-P-H-R, O-S-I-S would be condition of the renal pelvis and the kidney. This is condition of, right? Pyelonephritis. Pyelogram would be an x-ray of the kidney.